All right, guys, time for a midday market recap. We're going to go over some of the trades here from this morning and break down day 3 of the small account challenge. All right, guys, so today is day 3. You can see I'm up $150.42 today. Starting balance this morning, I'll show you guys who are on live stream. Starting balance right here, $896. So that gives me 16% profit today, $150. And I'm actually up about 79% since my $583 starting balance on Monday. So 2 stocks I traded, ETRM up 115 and HMNY up $98. Now that's in my Sure Trader account. And then over in my Speed Trader account, I also traded OPTT and PRAN. I made $850 on OPTT and I lost $450 on PRAN. So net profit of only $300. So not a lot on Speed Trader, but Sure Trader is a solid day, and I'm pumped about those kind of gains. All right, so I'll talk a little bit about the setups that I took today, the catalyst, and so on. All right, so each morning for me, right, starts the same way. It's going through the gappers, looking at the stocks that are projecting to open higher than they closed yesterday. So today we had a couple on the gap scan. We had HMNY on that scanner, and this one we traded yesterday and did pretty well on. So even though there wasn't a fresh catalyst, the setup on this was follow through, a break of the previous day's high. And keeping in mind that HMNY is a former runner, it's a stock with a low float, it's sort of a cult classic, it's a stock that traders love to jump on because it has a history of moving. It's one of those things. When I see that there's news on HMNY, I jump on it because I know it's going to pop up 40, 50 cents because traders just seem to love to trade that name. So HMNY today, I jumped in for a break of pre-market highs. The pre-market high was 393, and I got in the first 5-minute candle at 380 with 500 shares. Now, that was with my Sure Trader account, and this one was restricted, so I couldn't take full size. I couldn't take 1,000 shares. Even though I had the buying power, they were restricting margin. So this one was 3-to-1. So instead of having 5,000 in buying power, I only had like 2,500. So I bought 500 shares at 380. And as it popped up to $4, I put out my order at $3.99, sold the whole thing, $98 profit. One entry, one exit, reduces commissions, and gave me $100. Now after commissions, it was still only like $84, which is good, but that's 10% on this account, but it's not as much as I wanted. So on to the next trade, and ETRM was on watch, Cool was on watch, KOOL. And I actually tried to take a position on this for the break of pre-market highs. Pre-market high was 445. I tried to get in. I put the order at 450. I pressed the buy button. Popped up to 455. My order didn't get filled. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll cancel it. Canceled it, dropped back down. And in hindsight, I guess it's a good thing because this setup at best would have only given me 5 cents of profit, and at worst would have cost me, 20 cents. So didn't end up working out, which is fine. It's just part of the deal. But it was worth taking the trade. So that was cool. Let's see, next one. We watched ETRM, and this is the pretty incredible thing with the market. This week we've had some really strong volatility, which is kind of what I was hoping we would have in January as sort of a rebound from the slow holiday season. So like on Tuesday, market was closed Monday, but on Tuesday we had IDXG. This stock went on Tuesday from $4.91 up to a high of $14.25. That's a pretty crazy move, right? I mean, that's incredible. And the thing is, we see that kind of thing happen all the time. This is a stock, biotech stock that made a big move, and we capitalized on it, had a good trade. Then yesterday we had EVOK. Right, EVOK, we squeezed up yesterday. Pretty big gap, opened, let's see, $1.87 on Tuesday, and yesterday's high was $3.50. So pretty big move there. We also had HMNY. And then today we had ETRM. ETRM opened at 250 and squeezed up to $5. 100% intraday move. And that's not to mention the fact that yesterday's low was $1.75. This is the kind of incredible thing about the market, that there are stocks almost every single day making these big moves. So my job as a trader is to find the needle in the haystack, to find the one or two setups or the one or two stocks each day that have the potential to make that big move, that have the potential to run 20 or 30%, or maybe even 40, 50, or even 100%. So how do I do it? Right now I'm 3 days into the small account challenge. And so far I've traded 6 stocks and I've been green on all 6. Accuracy has been terrific. I'm up 79%. And I'm showing you guys that even with an account as small as $583, you can make a living as a trader. This right here is up. I'm up, I guess, I'll be up $600 by the end of the week here. And that's pretty solid. So my job is to find these setups. The way I do it is by using the stock scanners. So the scanners you can see here, and I'll flip this around for those of you on Facebook. These scanners, they're searching the entire market for stocks that meet my criteria, right? So these are stocks that meet the criteria for being having home run potential. They've got the potential to make a big move. Now, some of these are biotechs. Some of them are tech stocks, like internet stocks. It's sort of a variety of different sectors. And I don't care too much which sector it is, although I avoid utilities and I avoid banks. But in general, the biotechs are pretty strong. And what I do is I just go through that scanner and look for the ones on there that are gapping up the most and that have the lowest float, right? And that's pretty much my technique for finding the big moving stocks each day. So today we got ETRM, the squeeze from 250 all the way up to $5, so 100% intraday move. And on that one with my small account, I was able to lock up $115. Now, last year, obviously I did really well trading with my big account. So this is kind of the hard thing, is that I feel like I'm it's like I've got a speed governor on the car. I can only drive 30 miles an hour on the freeway. Like, this is a setup that I wanted to be a lot more aggressive on, but I knew that I had to be smart. Right now with a small account, I don't really have the buffer or the cushion to be overly aggressive. I need to be really, really smart about the trades I take. And so that's why I'm staying focused and waiting for the good quality setup, waiting for the pullback. And then when I get that pullback, then I can jump in and get a good entry. A safe entry means I can manage my risk with a reasonable profit target. All right, so today's, a decent day for me, and I'm getting close to my goal for the week, which is to turn the $583 into $1,000, and then we'll kind of see, what next week has in store for us. I'm hoping that we'll have some good momentum. I'm hoping that we'll have some good headlines. And that was the tough thing with the holiday, is that we just didn't have a lot of companies putting out good press releases. We just didn't have a lot of good catalysts, and that makes everything a bit slower. All right, guys. So anyone with questions on the trades from today, you guys can feel free to email me. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can put comments below. Facebook, you can put comments below, and I'll make sure I follow up on those. Game plan for the rest of the day is to sit tight. I'm not going to overtrade, not going to be aggressive, just going to take the profit and be done. Between the two accounts today, $450. It's not much, but I'll take it. It's it's kind of a decent morning, I suppose, between those two. So that's where we're finishing today, and I will pick back up tomorrow, day 4 of the small account challenge. All right, guys, I'll see you then.
Let's be honest. If you made it this far, you must have really enjoyed that video. So what's stopping you? Subscribe right here and get email alerts anytime I upload new content. Until then, happy surfing!